Hi, I'm Kristen Robertson, CEO of Brio Leadership, and tonight I'm recording my very first quasi-Facebook Live event. So I'm getting better at it already, I know, but have a little mercy tonight. I want to talk to you from my heart about the news lately and about two books that I've written because of the news. So are these names familiar to you? Harvey Weinstein, Roy Price at Amazon Studios, and Travis Kalanick at Uber. These are just three of the men that I've been reading about who have been abusing women and sexually harassing them to the point of rape. This just makes me angry because it's such injustice. Now, interestingly, probably not coincidentally, two books have recently been published that have a lot to do with this issue of injustice in the workplace for women. The first is called Reset by Ellen Pao, and I'll be talking about that in just a moment. The other one, also published almost at the same time, is Hillary Rodham Clinton's What Happened. I'm going to start with this and just share a couple of things with you. Hillary is not a great storyteller, but I still found her book to be really instructive and fascinating. And there's three things that I took away from it. Perhaps this helps explain to you why she lost, really what happened, as the name of her book says. The first is that unlike European countries, the United States elects their president in sort of a popularity contest. Whereas in Europe, in the parliamentary system, a prime minister is elected from the ruling party in the parliament. They get together, whoever's got the most seats in parliament, and they choose their leader. So women who either by nature or nurture seem to be better collaborators get a better chance at a parliamentary system because they have collaborated with their other party members and might be able to get the nomination or the vote to become prime minister. Contrast that with the United States, where we really do have a popularity contest, and it's counting up the votes with the electoral college layer put on top of all of that, which is another conversation altogether. So that was number one. Secondly, I'm wondering and am very concerned whether the United States is ready for a female president. She cited some statistics that said only 20% of women Republicans wish to see a female president in their lifetime. The number is a little bit better for Democratic women. 69% of them wish to see a female president, and the men are below each of the women percentages. So perhaps we're not ready. I tell you, friends, it's really only been a little over 50 years since the Civil Rights Act in 1964, where women got the protection of the U.S. Constitution, of the U.S. government, to not be discriminated against on the basis of sex. And that's in both hiring and in work-related issues. So we're really just 50 years away from that. And sexism, the idea of the divided sexes, is more powerful than race. I'm here to tell you that. Gender trumps race anytime. If you're walking down a street, the very first thing that you'll notice about anyone coming toward you is, are they male or female? And you need to do that. You need to do that out of safety, because a male is going to be stronger and there might be a little more danger there if it's a male coming at you. But again, gender trumps race or any other distinction among us human beings all the time. The last thing I discovered in this is that she had a whole chapter on why. And she even talked about voter suppression, but also she talked about the Comey effect and the Russian Russian interference in the election. So those are the three things that I've learned from that book. I highly recommend it. It's a good retrospective on what happened last fall. And then the next one, of course, is Reset. Let me read you the subtitle, My Fight for Inclusion and Lasting Change, by, again, Ellen Pao. You might remember her about 3 years ago. She sued her venture capital firm where she was employed, Kleiner Perkins, in Silicon Valley, for discrimination and sexual harassment. Powell lost her suit, but she really won the war. So she lost the battle, but she won the war, because since then, and I'm not saying it's a cause and effect, but since then, more women have been empowered to come out and tell their stories. That's what we've been dealing with over the last 3 months, isn't it? That these women have implicated Harvey Weinstein, Roy Price, and Travis Kalanick at their respective companies. And friends, women in particular, we need to be empowered to speak up. We've been taught to be nice so much of the time that we need to get a shot of chutzpah and start talking out. What I loved about Ellen's book is that even though she did not talk about what to do about it, she has started a nonprofit organization called Project Include. You can see it on the internet at projectinclude.org. And she actually has 8 or 9 prescriptions for what to do in the workplace to make it more women-friendly and to give 50% of our population more of a chance in the workplace. I highly recommend that you go and see both, read both the book and go to that website. Again, it's projectinclude.org. So as I wrap up this video, I'm so delighted to spend time with you, first of all. But I just want you to think about this. It finally struck me this weekend that what we're talking about here is injustice. And let me end with the thought that injustice for anyone, for just one person, means that there's injustice for all. So females, we take up 50% of the population, but when we are treated unjustly, when we are harassed, when we are discriminated against, it means that there's not justice for even the men in our lives. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later.